If you're feeling constantly drained and like you've lost your spark, that you're running on empty, these are the 5 major things that you might be doing that you need to stop today if you want to regain your energy. So, without any delay, let's get right in. First and foremost, you need to stop taking on unnecessary tasks. This is so very important. Some of us, in the name of productivity, take on so many tasks. Our to-do list is so long, we can't possibly check off all the things in it. We are grinding day in and day out. But if you really sit down and think about it, do you think all of those things really are contributing to you going towards your dream life? There are just 3 or 4 high-impact tasks which are actually making a difference in taking you towards your dream life. Yet there are so many unnecessary tasks that we have taken upon ourselves. We have spread ourselves so thin that we aren't even able to give that undivided attention and energy that our goal or dream life deserves. Delegate the tasks which you think you can delegate. Learn to trust other people with tasks wherever you think you can. That is a skill in itself. It will free so much of your energy for the things which actually matter and make a difference in the long run. It is operating from really masculine energy when you are taking on so many tasks, spreading yourself way too thin, trying to be everywhere. If you're a content creator, for example, you're posting on every single platform. Feminine energy operates differently. I'm such a big believer that quality is always above quantity. Do few things, but do them really well. That's how you actually end up achieving without burning yourself out. I'll give you a little example. When I'm extremely overwhelmed by something, for example, I have exam, I have a video plan out to record, I have research work to do, I realized that I found myself doing completely irrelevant things, like I would be cooking or I would be cleaning my room. Completely irrelevant stuff. None of that was making a difference, but yeah, they were creating a great distraction. Distracted from what I actually was to do, the things which were on my plate. One thing that can help is when you make agenda for your day, when you write all the things down, what I like to do is I highlight high priority tasks which actually take me towards my dream life, and I highlight them in green. And the rest of them, either leave them like that or color them yellow or with some other color. That way, at the end of the day, even if I have just accomplished the green highlighted tasks, the 3 or 4 major tasks, I still sleep feeling accomplished. Why? Because I did what mattered. Most of the time, things like extra cooking or cleaning the room, these things can wait. They'll have a great impact on your life, on your self-esteem, on your long-term energy levels. But if you are not doing the things which you had promised to yourself, that is what shatters your self-esteem. That is something that makes you lose your spark over time. So that is something you need to avoid. The second point is stop giving unnecessary explanations. I have mentioned this in a previous video I made on Habits of Queens. She did not argue. She did not give any explanations. But the way she said it, she was so sure about it that people knew not to ask her again. You do not have to give explanations. You do not owe anyone any explanations. Having argument, telling people why you were right in feeling what you were feeling. If someone doesn't know how they made you feel or how their actions impacted you, no amount of your explaining it to them is going to make them understand it. Especially if you have noticed that that has been a pattern with someone. Do not give any explanations to them. Over-explaining all these things actually end up doing the exact opposite to what we are intending. When you give an explanation for a decision that you have made, for instance, it gives the other person an impression that maybe she's open to negotiation. maybe I should try to talk her out of it. If you are looking towards healing yourself, stop giving unnecessary explanations. For your decision to carry weight, you do not have to give explanations for it. You must have noticed that when someone has been in really disturbing dynamics for a really long time and they decide to heal, they become so calm. They're not looking for anyone's validation anymore. You know how they give an example that when a woman ends a relationship, she actually stops arguing. When you know that a relationship is over, that's because she has moved on. She has started her healing journey, and she knows better than to waste her time in giving unnecessary explanations to things which do not require any explanation for them to be valid. Moving on towards our third point, stop trying to please everyone. This links back to the point I've discussed before. The moment you start your healing journey, you stop caring for what people think of you. Your focus shifts more towards your inner self. Focus shifts from trying to improve everything, trying to control everything, to actually taking responsibility for the single thing you were sent on this earth with responsibility of. That is your own soul. Start working on your dreams. You do not need anyone's validation. When you stop trying to dilute your energy by directing it towards controlling things which are out of your control, fixing other people, criticizing this person, telling that person what to do, and instead you stop working on yourself, you do not feel the need to please anyone. Something inside you shifts. You become more secure in yourself. That validation comes from within. It is so freeing and so healing when you realize that you do not need anyone's validation. No one's looking at you the way you think they are. And instead start diverting all that focus into things that actually move you towards your dream life. It is so healing. If you like to dress up in the most unique, unhinged way ever, go ahead and do that. The moment you stop caring about other people's opinions and step into that new identity of yours that does not care and is actually focused on building her own dream life, that's when growth happens. And that's when you start to quantum leap towards your goals. Fourth point for this video today is disengage from toxic people. People who we spend most of our time with impact our energies. You have to be really careful who you allow into your life, who you spend most of your day with, because it is a matter of whether you will end up in your dream life or not. It is that important. So you have to make that choice today. Many people keep trying to heal while being in the same dynamics to cause the harm. Sweet soul, you first have to take the dagger out in order for your wound to start healing. You can't just leave it there and expect it to heal. Exit that toxic environment. Block the toxic people. Stop spending time with people who make you stay small. Even holds true for kind of content that you are consuming. People that you are following. If you are just following a bunch of meme pages, you're not feeding your brain with things that fuel your dreams. If you spend hours of your day on those pages, which are doing nothing but distracting you from your goals, where do you suppose you're gonna end? Anywhere but your dream life. If you want to heal, you need to disengage from the toxic dynamics, whether they are within yourself or the ones you are subjecting yourself to, or external. Fifth and the last point of this video is learn to say no. This kind of summarizes the things that I've discussed before. You need to learn to say no in order to get to your dream life. There are so many aspects of this that could be a whole another video on its own. You are gonna get things which are so close to what you actually want and prayed for. It is very important that you learn to say no to things that are even slightly misaligned. Not being able to say no to things that drain your energy will keep being the biggest obstacle in your healing. If you are serious about your healing, you need to learn to say no. to events that don't serve your future self, to people who do not make you grow, even your own bad habits which prevent you from getting to your dream life. You need to learn to say no. We all have that one big weakness that we are really well aware of, that this is one thing that if I uproot this and throw this out of my life, I am going to quantum leap towards my dream life. For a lot of us, it is cell phone overuse. You need to learn to say no to it if you want to heal your energy, if you want to get to your dream life. I'm a really sensitive person, and saying no, learning that was so hard for me. Anytime I would say no to someone for my own sake, I would feel so selfish. I would feel so guilty about it. When we are giving someone just because we aren't able to say no to them, we are just giving them out of resentment. We aren't giving them out of love or even out of goodness of our own heart. We are sacrificing our dream life, our goals, the time that we could be spending working on them. It's unfair to both of you. It's doing neither of you any favor. If you do something for someone, do it because you want to. You genuinely want to. Not because you can't say no. Make sure it is only because you actually want to do it. There should be no other reason that you are doing something for someone. This girl I know, and she is so calm. Seems to be, of course, everyone has their hard times, but she seems to be so regulated most of the time, and yet she's so caring. The other day, I was asking her, don't you feel drained? Or don't you ever feel that you can't say no to someone? Her reply was, no, I do not feel that way. Because whatever I do, I only do it because I want to. She does say no, and it's not that big of a deal that we make it to be in our heads. People understand. No one owes us anything. Yeah, some people are just not at that level of consciousness. They might not understand, but that's not our problem to deal with. That was it for today's video. A quick recap. Things that you must stop doing if you want to heal your energy. First of all, number 1, stop taking on unnecessary tasks. Number 2, stop giving unnecessary explanations. Number 3, stop trying to please everyone. Number 4, disengage from toxic people and toxic dynamics. And last point of this video was learn to say no. I believe in you. Whatever you're going through, trust me, you're going to heal. Just keep this one thing in mind. It's not that big of a deal that we make it to be. We just need to decide that we are not that wounded version of ourselves anymore. Decide that today I'm moving towards healing. That was it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, as always, take care and keep growing.